Hello, everyone. Today's episode is special. This coming Sunday, January 25, 2026, the church celebrates the third Sunday in Ordinary Time, also known as the Feast of the Word of God. And our title today is Bold on Purpose. Jesus calls his first disciples the true and original XMen. Now don't worry, we're not talking about Marvel mutants shooting lasers from their eyes, although this month, as shown there in the picture, a teaser trailer for Avengers Doomsday was released with a mutant called Cyclops wearing a comic-accurate suit, unleashing an optic blast, or red forceful energy coming from his eyes as shown there. But really, we're talking about something far more powerful, because long before Professor X gathered gifted outsiders to save a broken world, Jesus Christ gathered ordinary men and turned them into world changers. Our first reading from Isaiah opens with darkness. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Isaiah was speaking to a wounded nation. The lands of Zebulun and Naphtali in Galilee, as shown there, were the first to fall when the Assyrians invaded Israel. Families were torn apart. People were exiled. Hope seemed lost. Galilee became a mixed land, Jews and Gentiles together. What Isaiah calls the district of the Gentiles. To many Israelites, this felt that they were forgotten, that they felt that they were impure, and that this place felt spiritually broken. Yet, God says something shocking. First I humbled them, but in the end I will glorify them. This is important, because God doesn't begin salvation in palaces. He begins it in places of pain. Just like in the X-Men stories, mutants are feared, rejected, pushed to the margins. Yet, it's precisely from the margins that salvation rises. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus fulfills Isaiah's prophecy. When John the Baptist is arrested, Jesus doesn't march into Jerusalem. Instead, he goes to Galilee, to Capernaum, to the Via Maris, the great highway of nations. Matthew tells us plainly, the people who sat in darkness have seen a great light. Jesus himself is that light, as he later declares, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness. In X-Men terms, Jesus is not just another hero. He is the source of power, the source of truth, the source of unity. Not mutation, not evolution, but divine mission. Now comes the heart of today's gospel. Jesus walks by the Sea of Galilee, and he sees four ordinary men: Simon Peter, Andrew, James, and John. They are fishermen. No titles, no influence, no superpowers. And Jesus says, "Come after me, and I will make you fishers of men." And Matthew says something astonishing. At once they left their nets and followed him. This is where the true X-Men are revealed. In the movies, mutants are chosen because of their abilities. But Jesus chooses men before they are strong. Their powers come later. Peter will lead later. John will love deeply later. James will give his life later. And Andrew will bring others to Christ later. And this is why Peter, Andrew, James, and John are the true and original XMen, not because they had powers, but because they were chosen, united, and sent by Jesus himself. Their transformation doesn't come from within. It comes from relationship with Jesus. That is the Christian difference. And by the way, the Greek word for Christ is Christos, and the first letter of Christos is Chi, and it's symbolized as X. Early Christians often used X or Chi-Rho as sacred abbreviations for Christ. So XMen can actually be read as Christ's men. Again, the original and not the fictional XMen. In the second reading, St. Paul gives us a warning. The Corinthians are divided, and some say, I belong to Paul. Some say, I belong to Apollos. Some say, I belong to Cephas. And Paul asks, is Christ divided? This is powerful. In X-Men stories, division always weakens the mission. When mutants fight each other, humanity suffers. Paul reminds us, we are not baptized into personalities, not into movements, not into human leaders. We are baptized into Christ. There is only one body, one mission, one cross. So January 25 is the feast of the Word of God. And the Word is not just read, it calls. Like the fishermen, Jesus still walks by the shores of our lives, in our work, in our struggles, our fears, and our families. He still says, come after me. Not all are called to leave boats, but all are called to put Christ first, to bring light into darkness, to heal what is broken. Psalm 27 reminds us, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? This is the courage of the true disciples. This is the strength of Christ's true X-Men. Brothers and sisters, the world doesn't need more superheroes. It needs disciples. Men and women willing to leave their nets, resist division, walk in the light, and proclaim the kingdom. As we can see, the true and original X-Men are not just in the gospel, because if you are baptized, you are called too. The question is, will you leave your nets and follow? If this reflection blessed you, please like, share, and subscribe to Letters of Paul to the Philippines. Until next time, proclaim, analyze, understand, learn, and walk always in the light of Christ.